We have some new polling that just came out on the general election, and there's really no way to spin this. It is devastating for President Trump. Headlines from new NBC Wall Street Journal poll conducted after the debate. Biden's national lead among registered voters expands from 8 points to 14 points. So the numbers are Biden 53%, Trump 39%. Previously, Biden was at 51% and Trump was at 43% in a September poll before the debate. Now, not only do you have the general public consensus being that Biden won the debate and he's getting a bump as a result of it, but now you also have President Trump being diagnosed with COVID. And listen, you might think like, I don't see a connection between him being diagnosed with COVID and more people fleeing him. Doesn't really matter if you see the connection or not. That's kind of what's happening. So he loses the debate, he gets COVID, and honestly, people are fleeing. They're fleeing from the dude. So I got to give you more. Here's where it goes from bad for Trump to catastrophic for Trump. Listen to this. The biggest declines for Trump in the poll come from seniors. Seniors were one of Trump's bases. It's like the base of the base. You have the evangelical voters, you have the seniors, older men. Biden is now beating Trump with seniors 62% to 35%. Trump is in serious trouble. 62% with seniors for Biden, when this is a group that makes up Trump's base. Okay, more. Suburban women. 58% for Biden, 33% for Trump. That hurts. Trump has been leaning into law and order. I'm all about law and order. The suburban women love me. I'm going to save your suburban lifestyle dream, folks. That's what I'm going to do. Save your suburban lifestyle dream. Turns out women in the suburbs despise Trump. And they don't buy the whole law and order thing. In fact, Biden is beating Trump on issues pertaining to law and order when you look at the polls. So perhaps the craziest fact, though, Trump had a 13 to 14 point lead with men 50 years and older. Now when you talk about Trump's base, it doesn't get more basey than this, dog. Men 50 plus, that's got Trump written all over it. Well, guess what? He went from having a 13 to 14 point lead over Biden. Now they're basically tied. It was either Biden was 1 point up or Trump was 1 point up, but they're basically tied. So it's a wash among men over 50. When that is the base of the base of the base. That is ace of base. They saw the sign, and it opened up their eyes. Guys, what is going on here? I'll tell you what's going on. People are sick. People are sick and tired. They're sick and tired. And Biden is being viewed by a lot of people as a pretty comfortable other option. Now, new polling came out. This is a different poll. Florida and Pennsylvania. Get this. Biden is up 5 points and 7 points, respectively. These, Florida and Pennsylvania, well, certainly Florida is supposed to be like, sort of like a must-win for Trump. And the polls previously had him more like barely in the lead, or it a lot closer. Now you have in Florida and Pennsylvania 5 point and 7 point lead, respectively, for Biden. Oh, it's okay, guys. I gotta say it's starting to look like a bloodbath. So this one as well was big in my mind. Now this is just national polling, as you all know. National polling does not determine the election. Hillary's the best example of that, or even George W. Bush versus Al Gore, but it is indicative of something. So when you look at this exact point before the race historically in other presidential elections. Listen to this. In 2004, Bush was just plus 1.8% over Kerry. 2008, Obama was plus 5.9% over McCain. 2012, Obama was just plus 3.1% over Romney. 2016, Hillary was plus 3.8% over Trump. So what's Biden? Biden is plus 8% over Trump. Plus 8%. So a little more than doubling Hillary Clinton's national lead. And probably the most important point is, after what happened in 2016, pollsters adjusted their formula to account for a little bit of like a secret Trump vote. Even with accounting for that, Biden is plus 8 on Trump nationally. There was a new NBC poll taken right after the debate, and after the news about Trump's taxes. 50% say they have a very negative opinion of Trump. That's the highest and the first time at or over 50% during Trump's entire presidency. He's peaking in his unpopularity right now. Right now. 50% have a very negative opinion of Trump. This is after the debate and after the revelation with his taxes. And then again, this one didn't include since he got COVID. There's probably going to be more people fleeing him as a result of that. Now, could work back in the other direction too. If Trump beats it, people could hop on the bandwagon, and you could see a swing in the other direction. But listen, we're getting to like the final minute of the fourth quarter now, and Biden's up double digits. To make an analogy to basketball, I'm just about ready to pound the gavel. Now, I know everybody out there, I can sense it in my own audience. What about my 2016 people? You got to remember, I was one of the few voices who was warning the second we got into the general election. I could see Donald Trump winning. He's a real threat to win. And I warned that Hillary was ripe for attack. She was overconfident. Trump could hit her on corruption, on representing the status quo, on outsourcing, on war. And he did exactly that. He ran a superb campaign. But running a superb campaign, he still lost the popular vote by millions. He won the Electoral College because he micro-targeted the places he needed to with his rallies and whatnot, and won the Rust Belt, which was absolutely the thing that delivered it for him. But back then, he was running a superb campaign. Now in 2020, he's a mess. He's a mess. Get this. Biden's favorability has gone from minus 10 to plus 1 or 2 since Trump has been leaning into this strategy that he's been using. What strategy is that? Pretend Joe Biden is Marxist, BLM, Antifa. Pretend he's a hardcore radical socialist. They've been leaning into that argument, and what's happened? Biden's become more popular. He's more popular now. So either people hear the argument and they go, I don't buy it, you sound ridiculous, and they like Biden more, or they hear it and they go, okay, so Biden's a socialist. Awesome. That's sweet. Now I'm even more with him. It's one or the other. It's either they don't buy the argument and they like him more, or they buy the argument and that makes them like him more. like either way, you're losing. And guys, if you stop and think about it, why would you run in the midst of a pandemic and a depression? Why would you run on this notion that my opponent really wants to change stuff? You're helping them when you say that. You're helping them. Yeah, when people are absolutely miserable and things are going terribly, the first thing they want is radical change. So you're doing Biden's work for him by saying, oh my God, this guy's going to rework things in crazy ways. He's going to, he's going to do a page 1 rewrite. He's going to start with a blank slate. He's going to do radical change. People hear that and they're like, oh, awesome. That's exactly what I want right now. I just took a 20% pay cut, or I just lost my job, or I have family members who died of COVID, or I have somebody hospitalized right now with COVID. I want a radical change. I don't think things are good right now. So see, Trump is too, he's in that right-wing bubble. He's in that right-wing bubble, and he can't get out. His political instincts are dulled. They're dim now. So listen, looking at all this evidence, I'm going to say this. Donald Trump needs, at this point, not a minor miracle, a major miracle to win. Biden has been up the entire time, and now he's growing his lead, leading into the election. I suppose the only argument you could make to say, oh, not buying it, is complete and utter poll trutherism to the extent of saying, I don't believe any of the polls. Now, I get it. There are people out there who believe that. There are smart people out there who believe that. But remember, in 2016, the polls were not that far off. It was the pollsters who were off. That means something. It means when they say Hillary's lead is about 3%, and she wins by a few million votes, that's right in the margin of error of what the national polling was. The thing that Trump did, which made it work out for him, is, again, he micro-targeted the specific areas in the Rust Belt to win the Electoral College. So the polls were really not that far off. It was the pollsters who were off with their predictions. Well, listen, they've already crunched the numbers. Even if you adjust for a secret Trump vote, and they did. But let's go further. Let's give them another secret Trump vote on top of the secret Trump vote they already calculated. Biden still wins. So listen, I'm saying it right now. Donald J. Trump needs a major miracle to win this election. This thing is almost over. And Biden doesn't have to do anything. Now, the Democrats are going to learn all the wrong lessons from this. They're going to believe that neoliberal corporatism is incredibly popular and their terrible outreach strategies are incredibly popular. Nonsense. If/when Biden wins, it's just a matter of this being a purely anti-Trump election. You could run a ham sandwich against Trump and the ham sandwich would win. So they're going to learn all the wrong lessons, and that's miserable, and that's terrible, and that's depressing. But as of right now, it certainly looks like the fat lady is beginning to sing. So do with that information whatever you want, but I'm calling it now. Trump needs a major miracle to win. Not minor anymore. He needs a major miracle to win. This thing is, we're in desperation territory for the incumbent president.